grubs. My neighbor's got them. A lot of people on the block have them. The birds are coming in and just tearing up these yards. They look terrible, and they're just migrating into other people's yards. You know, it's March, and look at this. The birds have just torn up his grass here. You can see all the dead grass. So I told my neighbor I would, go ahead and fix up his lawn for him. I'm on vacation this week and I wanted to get busy doing some stuff. So I told him I'd just, get started on it. He's got a lot of moss. I had sprayed the moss a week earlier, and I didn't realize how bad his grub problem was until I got it started. So I raked his pine cones up and the branches that have been falling all winter. Got my mower out and I mowed it down to as low as my mower would go, which is like 3/4 of an inch. His yard is pretty bumpy, and with where those birds have torn up his yard, it was really hard to cut it really short. But I made like 4 passes on it with my lawnmower. I don't even think I filled the bag up all the way, but I did this and I got it started so that I could start working on dethatching, and that was kind of my main thing I was going to do for him, was just kind of dethatch and get the moss out for him. So I got started with this project, and it looks like it's gonna be a little more work than I thought it was, but no big deal. My neighbor works really hard. He's got a brand new baby, and I just wanted to help him out. When he put this yard in a couple years ago, it looked really, really nice. I mean, he had it looking really good. And just over time here, with how busy he is with his work and all that, he's just kind of let it go. And then the grubs came in and took over. So I'm going to dethatch it here. I'm using the Sun Joe, and I do use the catcher. And I know it's a pain in the butt, especially with the unevenness of the lawn here, because the catcher falls off frequently. But I try to make it as little work as possible. I would rather have to empty the bagger over and over than have to really, really rake up the area really good. And I want to do a light raking and come back over it with my mower and kind of finish up and get it all cleaned up. You'll see here towards the end. But yeah, so I thatched it 2 ways and I raked it all up. I ended up with something like, I want to say I had 4 garbage bags full, and I filled up his green yard waste can there. But yeah, here I am. I'm just kind of finishing up, getting up this first layer of thatch out of there, and it was a lot of work. It definitely was a little more work than I was expecting. It took me a few more hours. And here the neighbor lady Kathy comes over. She's talking to me. She's got some POA pretty bad in her yard, so she's talking to me about getting that out of there. So I told her I would help her out with a few things, get that taken care of. She's got a really nice lawn. I think they're retired. I'm not really sure, but she takes care of the yard, and she's got a perennial ryegrass in there. And, she really has that thing looking really good, although she mowed it a little low while she's out there mowing right now in this video, but you can see her in the background. But her perennial ryegrass, super, super dark green. I mean, she really has that lawn looking good, but she is getting overtaken by POA. So I'm going to help her out, get that POA taken care of while I'm helping Wilson out here getting his side yard taken care of. Probably end up doing his front yard as well. But this was looking really bad. The birds had really taken over. The moss had really taken over. His front yard isn't quite as bad, but it does have a lot of moss. So here you can see some of the dead moss still in there that I haven't got out. I was dethatching on the highest setting, and there was just a lot coming out. And here's the bad spot here where the grubs are really bad. I mean, you can just pull the grass back and just find grubs after grub. So that's what it looked like after I had finished. And here we're going to take a look. This is the next day. I told him I was going to put some grub killer down, you know, the super good, quick kind. You know, it's just going to pull some grass back here, and you know, you're just going to see grubs. Look at that. And you know, in a couple of patches, I pulled it back, and there was a lot. So I'm using the 24-hour Grub Killer Plus, and this stuff really works. You know, again, I've watched YouTube guys talking about Grub Killer and how it takes so long to work. It's got to soak into your yard and all that. And, you know, if you use the right product for the job, it's going to get taken care of. This here is triclophon, something like that. It's also known as Dilox. Dilox is the brand you can get online at the Do My Own. And you can find this grub killer with this product, with this, you know, active ingredient in it at the. I got this at Ace. Actually, I had to search for it. It was a little hard to find, but you know, this is the next day here. I'm going back after I'd put this grub killer down. This is 24 hours later. It says it's a 24-hour killer, and most all of these grubs are definitely dead, and the ones that aren't dead are pretty close. So I would say it definitely does the job in 24 hours. You know, some of these grubs are a little deep. You know, here again, here's just the spot that the birds tore up overnight. And like I said, there are many yards on our block that, I mean, are just completely tore up by the birds. There's so many grubs. So yeah, here's a little sample of 24 hours after, and the dead grubs. That grub killer, it's Bio Advanced Grub Killer 24-hour. That's the stuff to get. If you got a grub problem, and you know you do, you pull your grass back on a dead patched area where, you know, the grass is dead, and you see these grubs, you get that. You know, wherever you got to find it, go get it. I had to drive to a couple cities over to get this at the Ace Hardware. You know, the Home Depot didn't have it, the Lowe's didn't have it, and the only place that had it was Ace. And like I said, it wasn't even the Ace in my city. So I went over there and grabbed it for him, and I put this down, and as you can see, it definitely works. You know, these grubs are still alive here. They were a little deep, but they're on their way out. I went back and checked the next day, and they definitely were dead. So after 2 days, some of the deeper ones and maybe the ones that were just a little more stubborn were gone. So this is the project. You can see some of the grub killer there on the ground there, the little sprinkles, and the action the birds have taken on the lawn. So I'll keep you posted on this project here, how it goes with getting the moss out and kind of getting his reseed done here. And just kind of another project, another something thing to do, you know, while we're waiting for the season to start, get some grass growing. So I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Hope you got a little good info on how to get rid of some grubs, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.